All right, so for number 3, this one's structured just slightly differently. It says a bank account starts with $10. So again, I'm going to start by taking notes in my notebook. I know that I'm starting with 10. And it says the amount of money in the account is tripled every month. And I know that triple means I'm multiplying by 3. So I'm going to start to set up my table. I have M per months and then C of M. At 0 months, I have $10. After 1 month, I'm going to take this 10 and multiply it by 3. And 10 times 3 is going to be 30. After 2 months, since it's tripling again, that means I take that 30 and I also multiply it by 3. 30 times 3 gives me $90. After 3 months, I'm continuing the pattern here. I'm multiplying by 3, which gives me 270. And then after 4 months, I do the same thing. I take this 3 and I multiply it by 270. I end up with $810. If I think about where I started and where I ended, to get to 810, what I had to do was I took this $10 and I multiplied it by 3. I multiplied it by 3 again. I multiplied it by 3 again. And I multiplied it by 3 again. So really what I have here is 10 times 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And if I open up a calculator and I do 10 times 3 to the 4th power, like I have written right here, I find that I get $810. So going back to my problem, if I'm thinking about is this linear or exponential, well, I know it's exponential because it's repeatedly multiplying. C asks, what is my starting value? Well, in my table, I have my starting value as 10. I'm going to annotate this. Start equals 10. What is the slope or common factor? Well, I know I need a common factor here because I'm repeatedly multiplying by 3. Letter E asks, what variable should I use for my input? So I'm going to look at the input is always going to be whatever's in parentheses. Here, my input is going to be M. Now I'm going to think about, on this document, at the top, I have this cheat sheet. Is this going to be a linear or an exponential function, and which equation should I use? Since it's exponential, I know I need to use a times b to the x. It has this cheat sheet. It says b is the common factor. Well, I already know that my common factor is 3, so I'm going to take out b and replace it with 3. It says a is the starting point. I'm going to take out a and replace it with my starting point, which is 10. Then here in orange, it says x is the input. This is always a variable. This is always the exponent. So my exponent here should be my input variable, which I just identified is m. So my final equation should look like this. 10 times 3 to the nth